All right, welcome. So this is Unit 5, Day 9. So working on those four-sided quadrilaterals. So yesterday you, or whenever you did Day 8, you looked at the information. So what you do with parallelograms, some of the properties. So go ahead and do 1, 2, and 3, and check with me after you do those about how the values are going. So I'm going to start down here at the notes, and you can see 5 parallelogram shapes again. So it would be fantastic if I were to go through the same properties like opposite sides parallel, then you automatically know it's a parallelogram. Opposite angles congruent, and some of those will be the same, but unfortunately there are a couple that are not. So some of the stuff will be a little bit repetitive. So based on what we're looking at as pictures. So if you see the parallel line marks, so top and bottom, and left and right. So if you only saw like left and right here, that would not be enough to say it's a parallelogram. So that would be going into something being a trapezoid, which we'll get to later. But so you're looking for very specific details in these. So you're looking at the marks and saying, okay, it's just a parallelogram. So 5 ways to do a parallelogram. So if both pairs of opposite sides parallel, then we automatically have a parallelogram. There might be more to it, and we can say it's a different shape, but for now we're just working on parallelograms. So should look familiar to yesterday, and that's great. So both pairs of opposite sides parallel. So another picture you might see, so just the congruent marks. So if you saw something like this, or if you saw like 10 and 10. Now that's not enough to say a parallelogram, but top and bottom. So one picture, the first one you looked at parallel lines, and then the second one you're looking at congruent stuff. So what do we have? Both same idea, both pairs of opposite sides congruent, then we for sure know that we have a parallelogram. So then moving into something you saw last time, again with the angles. So whether you have the actual number above, the actual numbers in the parallelogram, or if you have just the mark. So if you have this, you would say, not a parallelogram, need more information. But if you had those two sets of angles, and then the reverse sets of angles, so going across. So if both pairs of opposite angles congruent, then we automatically know we have a parallelogram. All right, so working on parallel sides, working with congruent sides, working with congruent angles. Now this one's going to be a little bit different. So either you see so if you see a picture like this, that's not enough to say parallelogram. But if you see those and you see those on one side, so one pair of sides have congruent and parallel. Now it doesn't matter if it's top or bottom, and it doesn't matter if it was turned to be left and right, but if one pair of opposite sides congruent and parallel, then we have a parallelogram. Okay, so this is kind of the one that sticks out a little bit that we definitely did not see yesterday, but the other three, should be a little bit familiar from the other video. And then this last one is definitely familiar again from the video. You have diagonals going through here. And then the diagonals are marked like this. Or maybe you have 5 and 5 and then 7 and 7. Or you have the numbers like that. But if both pairs of diagonals, and I'll just abbreviate that, diagonals, bisected, then parallelogram. Okay, so those are your 5 ways. So very similar, it's just kind of the reverse. So you're not told you have a parallelogram, you're trying to figure out if you have a parallelogram. So to do this, we're some practice for today. So some examples and then some homework. So essentially just looking at these pictures and thinking, okay, 3 and 3, 6 and 6. All right, so that matches, is this a parallelogram? And you're just trying to match it up to one of these 5. And since it matches the diagonal, yeah, we know it's a parallelogram because both diagonals are bisected. So I'm going to go to the one underneath it. So I'm going to just do this column first. Now, when we look at this, I have congruent angles, but it's like, are they opposite each other? In the parallelogram, opposite angles are congruent. So if it does not match that type of picture, it's no, because opposite angles not congruent. So you're just identifying what's in the picture for the reason for either yes or for no. Now this should look familiar to one of, this is like that newer one. This is a yes because one pair of opposite sides congruent and parallel. So on this one, a four-sided shape. So any four-sided shape, the angles add up to 360. So if you take 360 and subtract the 130, and you subtract the 50 and the 50, so what is that, 130? Okay, I can figure out this angle is 130. So if you actually only had two angles, you don't have enough to do anything more, so that would be no. But the fact that I have 3 and can figure out the fourth, this is a yes, because now I have the opposite, both pairs, opposite angles are congruent. Should look like a picture on the other side that we went through that we should be working with parallelograms. Both pairs of opposite sides congruent, so that is definitely a yes. All right, and this is going to be something you're going to have to watch out for. So when you have angles like this, you have alternate interior angles going here and here. So this one and this one. Alternate interior angles means the lines are parallel that they connect with. So going side to side here, now I have those congruent. So now I have also parallel sides. So you will have to get information out of these. If you're given alternate interior angles, you have to identify which sides are parallel. So both pairs of opposite sides parallel. Okay. So if you need some further help or explanation on these, let me know. Otherwise, finish up the attached eight of them for the homework. Thanks, bye.